Right. Okay. Yeah.
Still
So
see me. Yep.
yeah. So as I was saying, and sometimes you sit down and you listen to it and you think, well, you know what? It's creativity at the end of the day. Um,
Yep.
because you could write 10 songs and you could be happy with just one of them or two of them or three of them. And you could be confident that those ones would be it sort of like be a hit or something that they call it.
Mm. Mm.
And sometimes you're disappointed that the one that you actually like, your favorite, is not even,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
audience are liking. And that can come sometimes as a bit of a lesson, just to tell you that, but the fact that you like it doesn't mean that, but
Mm.
the compensation is you've actually written a backup to it, and people actually like that one. And that gives you
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that sort of satisfaction
That's true.
that you crave. And I think we should give ourselves more credit than we actually do give ourselves. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm very critical of,
Yeah. I mean, I'm critical, very self-critical in terms of, should I say, quality control of my songs. I can spend 2, 3, 4 hours on a song only to find it's not working, and I'll either come back to it at some future point, or I'll dump it completely. So I'm very strict with myself to try and maintain a standard that I have, But yeah, I suppose I'm always quite. It sounds a bit pompous to say proud, but I mean I've never had a music lesson in my life, and I can play a number of instruments, piano, guitar,
yeah,
bass, various instruments, which of course I actually play the instruments on my songs. So I'm quite proud of the fact that I've been able to do that for a long time because
yeah,
of, it's hard work. It's like anything in life, isn't it? If you work at it, then it has its rewards. So, yeah, I feel I don't, I'm self-critical if I feel a song um, hasn't come out as I wanted. I think I said the other day that in a couple of instances I want to re-record the vocals
yeah.
because I'm not happy with a couple of songs. But generally, when I've mixed and mastered a track, I'm happy with it. So yeah, and I think, I mean, in a way that a few years ago there used to be groups of writers, and I'm sure there still are in some respects. But I think over the years bands or individuals have much more written their own music, written their own songs. And I think the standard has gone up as a result. I think individuals write much better songs than multiple people doing doing the one song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's good that people do write independently.
Yeah. Just one point there, Trevor. You said, um, you said, you could say that you're proud of your songs, and then you said something like that could be pompous. It's not, because you put in a lot of time and effort into it, and if you're
Yeah.
unproud of it, and if you're not proud of it, that then sort of depletes your energy going forward, doesn't it? Because then you think, well, you know
Yeah,
what, what
and the achievement. Yeah, I agree.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, so
I
you
do
should
agree.
be proud of what you do, because it's a creation at the end
Yeah.
of the day. You've created something. And then what's the other point that I was gonna say? Um, yeah, and when you finish this song, um, even if you don't like it, or you don't like it as much as you think you should.
Mm.
There are people out there that actually listen to it and think, hang on a minute, I like that song. You see, because sometimes
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have, you have an audience in your head, and if you miss the target, you've got a product there that could
Mm.
be a hit for a completely new audience. You never know. So that's why I always think. I always think, you know what? At the end of the day, it's a creation that you've put you've put in your time, your resources, your
Mm.
energy into creating. And sometimes there are songs that people have written years ago, right? And then and it obviously it's not been a hit. But then somebody in the future comes along, picks it up, and then does something with it.
Mm.
And everybody's like, wow, that's a good song. But then
Yeah,
somebody's,
that's
yeah,
right.
you know what I mean? So whatever you create, and the internet these days is a very good tool because
Mm.
yeah, it helps you find new audience, new ways of
Of course. Yeah.
yeah, putting
Yeah.
yourself out there. So I wouldn't when I said being self-critical, I just meant the self-critical helps you to improve on what
Yeah.
and that's
Maintain your standard. Yeah.
exactly, and that's got to be a positive in any way. It's got to be a positive. Um,
That's true.
yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about the fact that you said that could be bumpers, but that isn't at all. I mean, there are musicians that we used to listen to back in the days that if they released those songs today, it wouldn't sell
Mm.
because the generation is different, the audience is different.
Times change. Yeah.
Yeah, times
Yeah.
have changed. So, everything's changed. And the fact that it was a hit then, that's what
Mm.
sustained. If it was so if you released it in a different time, in a different generation, it wouldn't have that much as much success as it has
That's right.
back then. Yeah, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing,
As
yeah.
you say, the internet is good because it enables lots of us to put our music out there and to get heard,
Absolutely.
even if not, far and wide.
Yeah,
But there's so many platforms now to get it heard.
yeah,
So that's good.
there is
Good.
so, and the competition is really closing in now. It's really closing in.
Mm.
The big boys, they're quaking in their boots now, literally, so to say. Yeah, because whatever they used to be able to do and monopolize it, it's no longer like that. It's all changed now.
Mm.
There are artists that I was listening to a show on the radio, not a show, but I was listening to a radio. I think it was called Absolute Country, and it's on DAB digital, and they were playing this song, and the host said that song was discovered via TikTok. So that this
Right.
guy, yeah,
Yeah.
this guy just written a good song, put it out on TikTok, and the radio was forced to play it because it was already gaining traction,
Mm.
already gaining momentum. So they
Right.
had no choice other than to play it. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it just tells me that the guy didn't have to approach them. He didn't have to go to the radio station and say, "Hey, can you play my song?" If he had done that, it probably wouldn't have been received with that
No.
say,
No.
that he got received with. But it just shows you, ain't it, that the gaps are really closing in now. It's really, really,
Mm.
yeah. So they've got to do something and change it, or else they're going to be out of business, just like the online store, just like the physical stores when the online marketing or online
Yeah.
shopping came in. When online shopping came in, all these other big businesses, they had to go out of
That's
business.
right.
Yeah. So I think the same
Yeah.
thing is happening to these big music companies. But I think the only thing that's sustaining them now, Trevor, is they're buying out the small ones. So they're buying
Yeah.
out
Absolutely right. Yeah.
them out before they could give them
Yeah.
any cause them any competition trouble. They just buy them out and silence them. Either buy them out, shut it down or change the name or. So I think,
It's
well,
still a tough business to get into, isn't it? It's the
it is.
music industry is notoriously difficult.
It
So
is.
you
Yeah.
just have to keep persevering, you
It is.
know,
Yeah.
bashing away at what you do to try and make some impact on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just thinking about the the artists that they have now. I mean, because I listen to like different radio stations. So I was listening to a station called, obviously when I'm driving, it's a station called Capital Extra. And when they
Right.
play songs, you can just tell that the songs are so similar in either chords
Mm,
or the way that it's written. It's like they um it's like they're replicating what's already successful. So they look at what's successful and then they take out elements of it to then create something else, like replicating what they already
mm.
have, which isn't being creative, is it? I mean, we're not
No,
I'm not bashing them in any
it's
way, but
deriving, yeah,
yeah,
derivation, isn't it?
yeah, it's not creative, is it? It's just
No.
that way centered. Yeah. What other thing that I was thinking about is